Hi, this is Mike Frank from Oracle, MySQL Product Management Director. Today I want to talk about preventing and detecting rapid-fire password attacks on MySQL. Now, as you may know, one of the most common ways that people get into databases is through password guessing. And so often they'll use programs that try thousands and thousands of usernames and passwords, or a lot of times they may already know the username and they can just use these attacks to find how to log into a server. And this is one of the oldest attacks around. These have been done forever. The faster computers get, the more capable these attacks become. And so I want to talk to you and show you how you can, with just in a couple of minutes, set up a method that will basically thwart these attacks and prevent them from getting into your database. Okay, so now I am going to do the demo and show you how this works. So let me get there. So I'm going to log in as root. Okay, I've got it. This will work with 8.0, 8.4, 9.1. So any version that you have, I'm running the latest. So now the next thing we need to do is we just want to install this connection control that is going to help us defeat these attacks. And it's really very easy. You just install one plugin, and this is the plugin that's going to effectively thwart the attack. And then the other plugin we're going to install, right? So we have the connection control, and now we have the failed login attempts. And this is the plugin that's going to collect the information about attempts that are made, who made them, and place them in a table that we can look at. And so once we've installed a plugin, we can just verify it's there, right? And then we see we've got both of them. And once you install a plugin or a MySQL component, then those things bring on their own configuration variables that you can look at. And so we can see here that we've got, failed connections threshold, which is how many times before I start adding time to the connection, So the first 3 are free. After that, it's going to cost you. The minimum one, and this is milliseconds, so this is basically 1 second delay with these settings. After I've typed in the wrong password, or after a hacker has tried 3 passwords, it's going to start getting more expensive. And with each one of these, right, that delay increases. So the first time it's 1 second, then 2, 3, 4, and in this case up to a very high count, right? And that may be how I want to leave it set up, right? So you could just stop right here, and this thing is going to work. However, if you want to change the settings, so you may have some sort of internal requirement, or there may be some regulation, then you can just call set persist, and we can set that value now to 4, and say your value is supposed to be 1.5 seconds. So now I'm going to set that to 1500. And then maybe for some reason you don't want to let that keep growing, and you want to just set it to 15 seconds. So, which is a long delay, right? So this is just an example. So that's really all there is to setting up the product. Now I'm going to create a user called bad typist, right? Or I could have called it hacker attempts or something, but here's bad typist, right? And so we've got, I use random, which generates a strong password by default. So this is a good thing to use in many cases. And so now we've got this user, and I'm going to use that to demonstrate sort of how things work. Now, at this point, let's sort of look at what we've got, right? So if I go and I show how many times have I delayed a connection, I just installed this, so yeah, nobody's attacking me yet. And then the other thing I can look at is who made any failed login attempts. And again, nobody failed. All right, so that's sort of the first part of this demo. And then next, I'm going to show you what happens by simulating an attack and what those things will look like with your variables. All right, so now we're going to look at, see what happens if we fail to log in. All right, so I'm going to try to get in once, provide the wrong password, and now I'm going to go back in as root. And I'm going to look at the status of the connection control. All right, so I only did it once, so I didn't do any delays, right? I only failed once. But I can tell that, you know, there was one failure. So you even without anything, I can tell, okay, bad typist is having a bad day typing in their password, right? So next, let's try this a few more times. Okay, now it's delaying more, right? I can see I'm getting some delays here. Right, a couple of seconds. This will be like 3 seconds, right? And then finally, let's see. Let's go ahead and let's provide the right password. Right, it's going to take a while, 4 seconds, and then it lets me in. Okay, so now let's see what our data looks like. All right, so go into root. Okay. All right, so there's nothing here, right? And that's because I ended up finally logging in correctly. But I can see, right, that we finally got that 4-second delay, right? So I got 4 delays, so it took me 7 times to figure out how to get in, right? All right, so now let's do this some more. Oh, not the root, that's not what I wanted. Bad typist. See, I am a bad typist. All right, so we're going to do this a bunch of times. Well, you're starting to get delays. Let me do it a couple more times. And you know what would happen is, you know, if we didn't have these delays, right, these are, you know, our ability to log in and return back is pretty fast, right? They're actually very fast. So if you had some automated program, it could sit and bang through trying to make connections very frequently. So now let's go back in as root. And let's see what we have. Okay, so now we can see we had 9 delays, but also we can see, you know, who was trying to hack in, right? And, you know, you could see a lot of attempts on this possibly. So anyway, this is sort of how it works, how you monitor and look and see who's having issues or what accounts are being attacked. by looking at this information schema table. There are a lot of different ways to protect a database. One way is certainly to do this and have strong password policies and all those sorts of things, right? But we also have a lot of advanced authentication methods that we support with Kerberos, with LDAP, with Active Directory, with multi-factor authentication, with FIDO2, WebAuthn. And so you really should look into those sorts of things because they provide sort of another layer of protection beyond passwords. And so we're really trying to get to a passwordless sort of thing. But in the meantime, you really need to use this very, very simple to set up tool to protect your database. And with that, thank you.